Hi students, welcome to Vagdevi's IIT Foundation classes. So for mathematics it is available for class 6 to class 10th, while physics classes they are available only for 8th class to 10th class students. And also regarding mathematics, for each section separate mathematics class will be there for 6th class, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Separate video sessions will be there for each and every class. But when it comes to physics, no classes for 6th and 7th. Only for 8th, 9th, 10th we can have our sessions here. Why? Because physics it's a tough subject in general. Regarding IIT Foundation, I don't think that 6th and 7th class students are required to focus on physics in their 6th and 7th classes itself. So better when you enter into 8th class, then you can start focusing on physics, okay, so that you can have better understanding regarding physics. 6th and 7th class, it is a really premature stage when it comes to learning IIT Foundation physics. So generally I don't encourage 6th and 7th class students for this IIT Foundation learning in physics. So when it comes to 8th, 9th and 10th class, there will not be any special and separate sessions for each of these classes. The same session will have to be followed by 8th, 9th and 10th class students. And it is possible. Don't think that how can an 8th class student follow equally with a 10th class student. See, I can tell you one thing here. After going through these sessions, the 8th and 9th class students will be in a position to compete with intermediate first year students who are taking IIT JEE mains coaching in top colleges. Sure. See how it would be thrilling for 8th and 9th class students when they are capable of competing with intermediate first year students. Yes, you will enjoy that thrill. Okay, it is for sure. Just follow these classes properly, damn sure you will have fun regarding that thing. So here let us start with our topic is kinematics. This is kinematics. So what is kinematics? First of all, what is kinematics? Kinematics is a branch of mechanics which is concerned with the motion of bodies without considering the forces that are actually responsible for the motion of bodies, and also the masses of the bodies considered in the motion. So no need to bother about these things. So not considering forces, not considering the masses of the bodies which we are studying, whose motion we are studying here. Got it? So what is kinematics? Kinematics is a branch of physics that deals with or that studies the motion of bodies or measures the motion of bodies. It measures. What it measures? Motion of bodies. So actually the meaning of this one itself, it is a motion, and matics, it is a measurement. So kinematics, it is nothing but measurement of motion. So how can we measure motion? How can we measure money in India in terms of rupees? How can we measure money in United States of America in terms of dollars, like that? So how to measure motion? So there are some physical quantities which help us describing the motion. So by measuring those physical quantities, we are capable of measuring motion. So what are those physical quantities? One is distance. I am taking distance. Second one is displacement. Third one speed. Fourth one velocity. Fifth acceleration. and sixth one, momentum. These are the physical quantities. These are the physical quantities which help us in describing the motion of a body, and measuring a motion means nothing but measuring these quantities here. Okay, so here I don't want to keep you in a state of confusion giving these many physical quantities here, so let me reduce them. So this is one set, set 1, this is set 2, this is third physical quantity, this is fourth physical quantity. Almost distance and displacement, they are almost the same, except that displacement is a vector quantity and the distance is a scalar quantity. Vector quantity means it is having both the direction as well as magnitude, while scalar quantity means it is having only magnitude but no direction. Similarly here, speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity which is having only magnitude but no direction, but velocity is a vector quantity which is having both magnitude as well as direction. When it comes to next one is acceleration. Acceleration is a vector quantity, it is having both magnitude as well as direction. Next one is momentum. The most important measure of motion is the momentum. Okay, momentum is also a vector quantity, it is having both magnitude as well as direction. And now in kinematics we do not bother about this momentum. You do not find momentum in kinematics, okay, because momentum involves the mass of the body, so we do not find this momentum here, because this is an important physical quantity which measures the motion of a body. I have included this one momentum here just to give a comparison. So what are the important physical quantities to measure the motion of a body? So this is a list of these things here. Okay, this is actually not a part of our kinematics chapter, so forget about this one. Momentum, we deal momentum in dynamics part. Okay, so what is dynamics part? Dynamics is also study of motion of bodies, where we consider the forces that cause the motion of the bodies as well as the mass of the bodies also. So that is dynamics. So kinematics and dynamics, both of them, they deal with the motion of the bodies only, but here kinematics, you do not bother about the motion, the mass of the body and forces acting. But in dynamics, there mass is considered as well as forces acting on the body are also considered. So okay, now in our kinematics, what are the physical quantities you are having? The set 1 is distance and displacement, set 2 is speed and velocity, and the third one is acceleration. Okay, right. So now let us define all these physical quantities: distance, displacement, speed, velocity and acceleration. Throughout the kinematics, other than these things, you do not find any other new things here. Right. So before going into those things, you have to learn some more important things here. First of all, since this chapter is regarding measuring the motion of a body, so we should know what is a motion first, and also if the body is not having any motion, then what we call it. So there are two quantities which we have to learn before entering into the original concepts. The first one is rest and the second one is motion, and the third one is rest and motion. Are they absolute or relative? Rest and motion, are they absolute quantities or relative quantities? Let us check. Okay, so these things let us discuss now in this class. Okay, first one is rest. What is rest? What do you mean by rest? So you can define this one as: a body is said to be in a state of rest if its position does not change with respect to its surroundings over time. Suppose if here this is a road, there is a car here, this is a car. Morning 10 o'clock we have seen this car, this is parked here. At 10:15 we are at 10:15 we have again seen this, it is at rest, it is there only. With the time this car is not changing its position, it is just parked there, it is not shifting its position with respect to its surroundings. Okay, then in this case it is clear that this body is in rest. We can say that this body is in rest. So what is rest? If the position of a body does not change with respect to its surroundings. Okay, so here it is parked at a point A, shop A, shop name is A. So the car, it is parked in front of shop A in the morning, till evening also the car is there only. Then what can be revealed from that one? The car has not shifted its position from the shop A. So we can say that this car is in rest, state of rest. Okay, so if the position of a body does not change with respect to surroundings, with respect to what we are considering the state of this car here, with respect to this shop A, it is always in front of this shop A only. It has not changed its position with respect to this shop A. Now surroundings is this shop A. Okay, this is called as surroundings. With respect to this surroundings, this car has not shifted its position. So we can say that this is in state of rest. So okay, so if position does not change with respect to surroundings over time, then we can say that the body is in a state of rest, right? Next, what about motion? What about motion? Simple. If it is not in rest, the body has to be in motion only. Only two things are possible. Either this car can be in a state of rest or in a state of motion. When we watch it, either it should be in state of rest or it should be in state of motion. Other than these two, nothing new thing is possible here. What is possible? Either it should be in rest or it should be in motion. Now it is in rest. If it moves, it will be in motion. Only two things are possible. In the universe, if you observe anything, there are only two possibilities are there. The first possibility is either it should be in state of rest, or second possibility is it should be in state of motion. Okay, right. Now what is motion? Just it is quite opposite to rest. So what if the position of a body changes with respect to its surroundings over time, then we can say that the body is in a state of motion. Suppose at 10 o'clock this car is here. Okay, now at 10:05 this car is moving here, and at 10:05 it reaches shop B. At 10 a.m. it reaches shop C, like this. Suppose it is changing its position. Okay, so with respect to shop A, it has moved a lot of distance here. That means with respect to the surroundings A, there is change in position of this car. So we can say that the car is in motion. So if the position changes with respect to its surroundings over time, then we can say that the body is in a state of motion. Okay, now you know what is rest and what is motion. The next question is, what about rest and motion? They are absolute or relative quantities. So first of all, before going into that one, let us know what do you mean by absolute, what do you mean by relative. Okay, guys, you all have friends, no? There are two types of friends basically. There are many types of friends are there, but basically there are two types of friends. One type of friend is, he will be always with you, even when you are happy, when you are sad, when you are strong, when you are weak. He will be more with you when you are weak and when you are in distress than when you are in happiness. So they are true friends. They are absolute. We can consider them as such friends. They can be compared with this quantity absolute. They will not change. Let the world turns against you, they will not leave you. Okay, they are true friends. It is very it is highly impossible in these days to get such friends. Okay, next, some type of friends will be there, they will change their colors. When you are strong, they will be with you. When you are weak, they will leave you. So such things are there. So whatever, let anything happens, if it does not change, that one we call it as absolute. And if it changes, depending on situations, if it changes, then we can call it as a relative. So let us check here, when rest and motion are absolute or relative physical quantities. Let me give you one example. Suppose a thief is running away, he is going away by a train here, he is sitting in a train. Okay, a policeman A, here this B is thief, A is police, and C is another police standing on the platform here. The police department has sent these two agents from police department to catch this notorious thief. Okay, and while catching notorious thieves, they will take extra care. They just don't rely on some people, no? They might appoint some other people to observe the entire situation, how it is going on. So suppose if B is the thief, A is policeman, and C is another policeman standing on the platform watching the situation there. So from headquarters, this person A has got a phone call. So the phone call, what about that phone call? The phone call is asking him, what about B? He is in rest or motion. This A is trying to explain, but they told him, no, we want single answer. Either he is in rest or in motion. Answer us straight. Then he is telling, he is in rest only. Again, this person also got a phone call now. Same question, whether B is in rest or he is in motion. Then he is saying, he is in rest only. Here this train is actually in rest, it has not started moving. So this A and B are sitting in the bogie here, and C is the second policeman standing on the platform. So what he said is true or not? Yes. The person who made the phone call, he realizes that both A and C are telling truth only, because both of them, they gave same answer regarding the state of B here. A tells B is in rest, C also tells B is in rest. Now after some time, they got another phone call. Now the train is in motion. Now they are asking A. A tells B is in rest only. He is sitting in front of me. I am in front of him only. He is sitting in front of me. He is in rest. Then phone call to C. He says B is in motion. Then they will get doubt. Who is correct? A is correct or C is correct? Leave them. Now the doubt is ours. Who is correct? A is correct or C is correct? Both of them are correct. But at the same time, previously I told you, either a body should be in a state of rest or in a state of motion. Rest and motion simultaneously cannot happen. So who is correct in this case? At the same time, this person is telling that B is in rest, and this person is telling that B is in motion. Why he is telling B is in rest here? Because the position of B is not changing with respect to A. Suppose previously if the distance between them is 2 meters, even after train moves, the distance will be 2 meters only. No, they will be sitting face to face. They are sitting face to face, each other, facing each other. So this is the case here. So what about this C? With respect to C, the position of B is changing. B is going away. So he is telling that B is in motion. So both of them are true here. But now, how can it possible? How can it be possible? Both of them simultaneously, a body cannot be in the state of rest and cannot be in the state of motion. So it is impossible. So the actual thing lies here is that rest and motion, they are not absolute quantities, they are relative quantities. That is, they depend on the observer, who is observing. So here, who is whom we are observing here? We are observing B. Yes, who are the observers here? One is A, another is C. So when observer is A, what is the state of B here? Rest. When observer is C, what is the state of B here? Motion. See, So the state of B depends on what? Depends on observer. With respect to this observer, this is in rest, correct only. With respect to this observer, B is in motion, that is also correct. So it is very clear that the state of rest or state of motion, that depends on what? Depends on observer. Right guys? Okay, let us conclude the class now. Let us meet in next class. Okay.